Hey guys, Ben here from Ben Builds, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to turn an electric fly swatter into a taser. Let's get started. So things we're going to be needing for this build is we're first going to need, obviously, an electric fly swatter. We're going to need some electrical tape. We're going to need a screwdriver. We're going to need some extra wire, a thicker gauge preferably. We're going to need some solder. And we are also going to need a pair of side cutters and a pair of needle nose pliers. So the first step is we want to get these little screws out that are all the way down the handle, so that way we can take off the racket part. So once we get all the screws undone and have removed the battery cover, we want to carefully pick up all this, make sure just not to lose any of the screws, and you can just leave them right in the cap. And then as you see, we can pick up this part of the racket, and as we see, we have 2 blue wires and 1 red. So we want to take our side cutters and cut them as close to the yellow part as possible. So once you've done that, this part you can throw away or keep to use in a further project, later project. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take these wires right here and we're going to strip the ends of them so that way we can solder on them. Now you should be using wire strippers or something like that, but I currently didn't have any nearby. So now that we've got those stripped, these 2 blue wires, I'm just going to curl together just to make it easier. And what we will do is once we get the soldering iron ready, we can just go ahead and just put solder on that right there. So that way, yeah, we know it doesn't come apart once we solder to that. Now we want to cut our wire pretty lengthy to start. You can trim it down once you get it on, so I'm just going to cut mine into 2 pieces about 5 to 6 inches long. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip one end of them to solder onto here, and then once we get it all screwed back up, we can cut a little bit off, but we'll leave it pretty lengthy for now. Once again, it would be easier to do this with a pair of actual strippers, but I don't have any strippers near me right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and use my side cutters. And what my method is, just squeeze a little bit on both sides and just kind of push and pull it off. And now this is braided wire, so it's a little frayed at the end, so if you want, you can go ahead and twist that up a little bit. Not too much, because you want to leave it loose so that way the solder can kind of sink in. So we're going to get this ready to solder, so we'll warm up the solder iron, get ready. And one thing with soldering, you want to make sure that if you're doing it on a surface that you don't want to hurt, that you have something to solder onto. Like I have this board that you can see I've soldered on before. It's a little messed up, and so that doesn't matter. So I'll get the solder iron plugged in and warmed up. So when soldering, you want to just tint one end of the wire, right, just like that, so you get a little bit of solder on each end of the wire. And we're also going to put a little bit on this wire right here. And if you guys want a soldering tutorial, just let me know in the comments down below. I'd be happy to do that. Okay, that will do this. So yeah, we'll right. And then we'll piece up the wire. So piece up. Okay. Okay, now that we got it done, we're going to start on here and put it back in the folder. And so now we want to take our electrical tape and wrap up these 2 ends, but we're going to want to let it cool down a little bit so it doesn't burn us. First, put it over the main solder joint, and we'll just wrap up any showing wires, that way there's no shorts. just kind of squeeze it like that. Make sure it's all in there good. Take another piece. And as you can see on the green wire, I stripped a little bit too much, but it's better to be safe than sorry, just in case you make any accidents. That way you can have a little bit longer. Just wrap this up. Okay, now we get that all done. We want to kind of just lay the wires around these posts like this. So just weave them through so that way they're not touching anything. Then we can take our top piece, line it up. Then we'll get our screwdriver here. Sorry. And we'll tighten these down. Okay, so what I'm going to do first before I turn the wires is right here, there's a gap there, there's a gap there. So first I'm going to take some electrical tape and wrap all that up, just so that way nothing gets down in there, nothing will mess up any of that. So I'll just go ahead and wrap this up. Break that off. And now that we got that wrapped up, what we can do is we'll take our side cutters here, and we're just going to trim these at a length that we think is good. So I'm going to trim it like right here, and make the two wires even. And then I'll take it and strip some off of it. And you want to be careful here to hold the green part of the wire. And that's where you could use the pliers, the needle nose pliers, just to make sure that you don't pull too hard and break the solder from the board or from where you soldered. And once again, we're going to go ahead and pinch the wires around here. And there we go. So once again, because it's braided wire, we can go ahead and twist up the ends here, like so. Now that we've got the wires all stripped and everything, it's all ready to go. And do not use this on any people.